Hello everyone, welcome to Comprehending Jane Austen. This is the explanation of the 10th and 11th paragraph of chapter 1 of Mansfield Park. Please consider subscribing to our channel and like this video. Please comment in the comment box and share this video as this helps us creators a lot. Now let's commence our study. Now when the subject of bringing Mrs. Price's daughter to Mansfield Park was brought forward again, we got to know the views of Mrs. Norris. To the reply of Sir Lady Bertram's question of where shall the child come first, to Mrs. Norris's parsonage or to the quarters of Sir Thomas Bertram. Now Lady Bertram asked her sister Mrs. Norris that to where should the daughter of Mrs. Price should come to first, to the parsonage where Mrs. Norris dwells or to the quarters of Sir Thomas Bertram. Now Sir Thomas heard with some surprise that it would be totally out of Mrs. Norris's power to take any share in the personal charge of her. Now Sir Thomas was taken aback by the fact that Mrs. Norris expressed her inability to take any share, to take any charge of the daughter of Mrs. Price, because he had been thinking that as Mrs. Norris was so enthusiastically forming the scheme of bringing her home, that it is she who would want to keep Price's daughter with herself. Now Sir Thomas was taken aback. Sir Thomas was totally surprised that Mrs. Norris was not going to take charge of Mrs. Price's daughter. Now he had been considering her as a particularly welcome addition at the parsonage, a desirable companion to an aunt who had no children of her own, but he found himself wholly mistaken. Now Sir Thomas, what he had been thinking that the daughter of Mrs. Price would be a welcome addition to the parsonage. Parsonage was the place where Mr. and Mrs. Norris lived. So he thought that she would be a very welcome addition to the parsonage as a desirable companion to Mrs. Norris, who had no children of her own. But he found himself wholly mistaken. But he was totally mistaken. Mrs. Norris was sorry to say that the little girl staying with them, at least as things they were, was quite out of the question. Now Mrs. Norris, what she said, that the little girl staying with them at the parsonage was out of question. Poor Mr. Norris's indifferent state of health made an impossibility. Now Mr. Norris was indisposed. Was indisposed, because of which it was impossible for the daughter of Mrs. Price to stay with Mr. and Mrs. Norris. He could not bear the noise of a child and he could cry. Now Mr. Norris's health was so worse that he could not bear the noise of a child. If indeed he should ever get well of its gouty complaints, it would be a different matter. Now Mr. Norris was suffering from gout. Now Mrs. Norris said that if he ever gets well of his gouty complaints, then she might consider taking Mrs. Norris's daughter to the parsonage and provide for her. She should then be glad to take her turn and think nothing of the inconvenience. But just now Mr. Norris took up every moment of her time. Mrs. Norris said that she was always busy with Mr. Norris's complaints, and he took up every moment of her time, and the very mention of such a thing she was sure would distract him. Now the mention of such a thing, the mention of a child living with them would put Mr. Norris at unease. "Then she had better come to us," said Lady Bertram with the utmost composure. Now Lady Bertram said that, "Okay, sister, if you have any problem, since you have a problem, let us keep uh, Mrs. Price's daughter with us." After a short pause, Sir Thomas added with dignity, "Yes, let her home be in this house." Now Sir Thomas Bertram also agreed, and he said that let her home be in the quarters of Sir Thomas Bertram. "We will endeavour to do her duty by her, and she will at least have the advantage of companions of her own age and a regular instructress." Now they will provide for her. Sir Thomas Bertram will provide for her, and the daughter of Mrs. Price will have the advantage of companions of her own age. Now here we uh, take note of the fact that Sir Thomas Bertram had four children, two sons and two daughters. Now Fanny would have the advantage of having companions of her own age, and she would have a regular teacher, a regular governess. So this ends the explanation of these two paragraphs. Thank you.